The Mike Parr Breakfast Show
on BBC Radio Cumbria.
And you're waking up to not a bad morning, in all honesty. Certainly quite a bit milder than it has been of late. And I hope your Mother's Day went well yesterday. Now, Broughton Bridge near Cockermouth will reopen later this morning for the first time since the November floods, and hopefully improve the traffic situation when it does. BBC Radio Cumbria's Ben Maeder has been by the bridge for us all morning, and let's cross to him now live. Morning, Ben.
Good morning again, Mike. Yes, the JCB that I mentioned earlier, that's still been working to clear mounds of earth from either end of the bridge. Now, when this was closed, they weren't taking any chances. They didn't want traffic across. There was both metal fences and these mounds of earth put up. So this has been cleared away at the moment. It's been loaded into a dump truck so cars can get across. And I've also been told there's a road sweeper due across the bridge as well, just to clear up the excess stones just before the road officially opens to traffic. Now, I'm standing on the Great Broughton side of the bridge, and there is a sign that's just been put up, a big yellow sign with a through route showing there's access to Great Broughton only, access to Pap Castle, access to Maryport and Seaton. Now, joining me on this side of the bridge at the moment are Chief Inspector Justin Bibby from Cumbria Police and Dan Webbs as well from the Broughton Craggs Hotel in Great Broughton. Now, Chief Inspector, we'll start with you first. How much of an impact has this lack of bridges, this damaged infrastructure really had on policing in West Cumbria?
Well, the emphasis right from the start has been to maintain policing services as normal, and I think we've gone a long way to maintaining that, coming on the back of the best policing performance that we've seen for many years. Obviously there has been an impact, but we've managed to maintain our response times. We've changed our infrastructure accordingly, and that was one of the key things. As soon as the bridges went down, particularly in Workington, we very quickly restructured the neighbourhood policing team through there. So we moved resources over towards Maryport so that the people in Seaton, the north side and Flimby certainly wouldn't see any notable reduction in policing services. And likewise, we've just made sure that our resources were bolstered in Cockermouth, so brought a lot of extra police officers and police community support officers over here. We've managed to maintain and indeed in some areas improve our policing performance overall.
Now, you mentioned response times there. That was what I was going to ask about, because commuters have been facing long stays in traffic. I know myself, I've been going through it sort of daily and stuck in that. So have you really been able to keep the response times despite just the weight of traffic that officers might have had to get through on emergency calls?
Yes, we have. I mean, everybody in this part of the county will be very familiar with the long queues that you have to face. The response times in terms of the police responding with blue lights and sirens, they've been able to negotiate that fairly quickly. So whilst there may well have been in some cases a slight deterioration, we've certainly maintained our response times and managed to maintain the service.
Now, when the Broughton Bridge here does reopen later this morning, it's going to be kept as one way, so it hopefully won't become a rat run. So will you be putting on any kind of extra patrols, extra presence in this area, just to make sure that, because they are narrow roads, just to make sure that drivers, are driving responsibly and sensibly around here?
Yes, we will. We'll certainly be putting some visible police presence at some of the key points to make sure that, obviously it's going to be new for a lot of people. We've got to get the message out. People have got to be able to learn and understand exactly how it works. And as happened when the bridges first went down, there was a period where people just had to find the way, really, find what was best for them, what were the best times to travel. And hats off to a lot of the local firms, ourselves included. We changed our times. We allowed people to start and finish at earlier and later times, and that all helped.
Right, Justin, thank you very much for that. Now, Dan, we said before you're from the Broughton Craggs Hotel, just really overlooking us up on that hill. How much of a negative impact has this bridge closure had on your business, your hotel?
Well, the passing trade's certainly gone down. We do a lot of lunches for non-residents, and we've now noticed a distinct drop in numbers coming through, mainly because of the extra route that people have to travel around. The cold weather earlier on in the year didn't help, so again, when you're having to go an extra few more miles to go around, people just, they find other places to go, and with us being right in the middle of the closures, it's not done any good, really.
When the bridge reopens as a one-way, do you think that'll be enough? Do you think that'll sort of be enough for the people who live around here and for yourself who looking to recoup this passing trade?
Well, it'll certainly help. I mean, especially from people living at the other side as well, just to bring them across. I mean, we've got Pap Castle just there, just coming through, and the very thin roads. Not many people want to go through it, but with this open, it should bring people back, definitely.
So from your point of view, are you seeing this as a sort of positive positive sign, a bit of a step in the right direction that West Cumbria, for business, for people living around here, is just starting to just put itself back on its feet.
Oh, certainly, it's got to be a start, and things are going to get better at least, and it's a good positive start, and hopefully we'll start bringing those. Just see what happens with the traffic. It should be all right anyway.
Okay, well, Dan Webster from the Broughton Craggs Hotel, thank you very much, and Chief Inspector Justin Bibby also. So there we are, Mike. As you can hear, that truck is still in the background, just getting filled with the last of the gravel. I believe it's around about 11 o'clock rather, that this road will start to reopen. So I think from there we'll just have to see the effects filtering through Great Broughton, Little Broughton, and the surrounding areas to see what impact it does have.
Thank you very much indeed, Ben. So we think around about 11 o'clock then, who's going to be first over? BBC Radio Cumbria's Ben Maeder reporting there from the soon-to-be reopened, albeit one-way, Broughton